Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I have finished the Christmas journal. I mean, it was pretty much done yesterday when you guys saw it, but we'll just go through it anyway as a flip through. So I'm done with both of Karen's journals, and they will be listed in my shop, Karen, today. So actually they're already listed, but alright, so this journal is from a manila file folder, and it measures 9 by 6, which is kind of, that's generally the size that I like to make. Every once in a while I might make something a different size, but generally that's the size. It's one signature, and it has, the signature has 20 pages that are folded in half, so you know. And then I put a little bulb pin on here with some beads and a poinsettia little charm there. And then this is the ticking. I think I should be able to just untie it, yeah. So I'll set that off to the side. And then you guys, we did most of this together. So my felts, holly, and then, you know, the snowflakes, the Santa, just all of it. It's all been sprayed with mica powder, so it's kind of glittery like ice or snow would be. This is a ribbon from Hobby Lobby that was gifted to me by Denise at Wonderbar Crafts. Hi, Denise. And then I did the mica powder on the Christmas tree to give it a little shine like snow. Yeah, so then on the inside we have the big tag that we made yesterday, and I think I figured out what the problem was with the stitching. It's the sticky of the felt, because I had glued it to the paper, but I let it dry completely before I stitched it. So that's what caused the weird grabbing of the threads. So it's a sloppy stitch on there. There's just that little pocket that was part of the manila file folder that I just folded up. And then this is my oh my gosh, Letters to Santa Digi. I couldn't think of the name of it. And then this is ArtyMaze, and it's Old Time Christmas, and I'll have all the digis listed in my description box. And that's ArtyMaze. This is my Letters to Santa. And then we have a pocket here with the tag with the one of the felt trees, and a place to write on the back. And this is one of Gayle Agustinelli's cards with a piece of my Letters to Santa there. And just a little collage down there. And then we've got ArtyMaze, or no, this one is Medieval Mirage. It was in her freebie that she's been giving away. It was, I think, the second one. So if you are a subscriber, go on over there, and she's got a freebie, or you can subscribe and then, you know, get the freebie. This is ArtyMaze. That one's my Letters to Santa, ArtyMaze, Letters to Santa. And then in our little tuck that we did yesterday, or it's actually a, oh my goodness, paper clip. Altered paper clip. I cannot think today. I am so hot. It is so hot here that it's that muggy heat, which we hardly ever get. And it's just weird because you walk outside and you're just all wet. It's just, ugh. So I watered, and I'm back in, and I'm not planning to go out again unless I have to. But that was that large journaling card that I had showed you guys yesterday. I had it in a different pocket, but I decided to tuck it into that one. And ArtyMaze. And this is my Letters to Santa. This is Allie, the Cockney Crafter's faux fabric. And then this is a little collage here with some fabric. So I pinned on a little charm there on a bulb pin. And then here we have a large card for a recipe. Bless you. And this is another journaling card that could, you know, have recipe type information on it. And this is just a small tag tucked into that pocket. And some coffee dyed paper, and ArtyMaze, Letters to Santa. This one is from my Winter Wonder Digi. This is Grammies Keepsakes. This is ArtyMaze, Letters to Santa. This is Tailor Made Journals, Grungy Wallpaper. I think that's the third set. That's Medieval Mirage. That's in the freebie. This is ArtyMaze, Letters to Santa. This is Digital Curio, and it's just the white lace. Grammies Keepsakes, ledger that folds out, Letters to Santa, ArtyMaze Old Time Christmas. This is ArtyMaze as well with, I'm not sure which one that's out of. It must be Letters to Santa too. And then this comes out of my Letters to Santa, just a little postcard right on the back. And then there's another little tag here in that pocket. And a lot of these envelopes are, or pockets, are thanks to Dee Dee Farago, because she's been doing that Christmas challenge, and so I just was, you know, sitting and making a bunch of the things that she did. Music paper, Letters to Santa, ledger, old ledger. It's got washi along here so that it doesn't split and tear out, because it was pretty fragile. Letters to Santa, and this is ArtyMaze Old Time Christmas. And Letters to Santa, and then here's my felt pocket that I cut out, using a die cut, and my Big Shot. So there's those, and we looked at those yesterday, but I'll just take them back out so you can see the pocket, how it looks with nothing in it. And these are both from Gayle. This is from my Winter Wonder Digi. And this is just a lady I found. I'm not even sure. It was just in my Christmas stuff, so I'm not sure where that one came from. But and music paper, and this is ArtyMaze. So there's still lots of room to write in this journal. So Karen can write lots of notes to her girls about planning for Christmas. And this is from Medieval Mirage. Lorna at Tailor Made Journals. That's my Letters to Santa. ArtyMaze, Grammies Keepsakes, Winter Wonder, Letters to Santa, ArtyMaze. And then when I say ArtyMaze, they're all the old time Christmas. Coffee dyed paper. And this is Lorna at Tailor Made Journals, Wallpaper again, different one. And then I just made this little, you know, letter to Santa kind of thing. It was an envelope that I found that has been addressed to Santa Claus. And so it's just a journaling card. And on the back is some of the Letters to Santa paper, which is tucked in there to write on. And there's a small journaling card in there as well. And this is my Letters to Santa, ArtyMaze, coffee dyed. And then this one is Letters to Santa. And then I have this journaling card. And these images that are a little bit more glossy come out of a book that I got off of Amazon, and I'll try to remember to link that book, so if I forget, just let me know. But it has all kinds of really cool, like Victorian scrap, and just cool images for Christmas. So I like that one with the Christmas tree. And then Tim Holt's little guy here on altered paper clip. ArtyMaze, my Letters to Santa. This is Gayle, her Christmas postcards. And then this is, what do you call it, Project Life cards. I don't know why I struggle with that every time. And then there's a little Christmas tag that I collaged. I was making that at the same time I was making pockets. That was a good thing. That's a good thing to just sit and do, get all your scraps, Christmas scraps, and just sit and make stuff. I mean, I spent lots of time doing it, but you know, when you're sitting and watching TV, it goes faster, it seems like. Medieval Mirage, Digital Curio. This is my Letters to Santa. Here's another large recipe card in an envelope, and there is a pocket behind this as well that could have another recipe card put into it. I didn't make one for that spot, but it could, or a piece of paper or whatever with instruction. This is ArtyMaze and my Letters to Santa, and this is Gayle, and then I did sign it. Alright, Karen, so those are both, this one and the Thanksgiving one, are in my shop listed, so hope you like those. They're all ready for you. Alright, so another thing I have to show you guys today, let me move this tablecloth, is I have a new Digi, and it's called Peeling Paint and Roses. And my husband and I, when we were out riding the side-by-side or ATV, whatever, I took pictures. We were in it's called a ghost town. There's people there now, but it's not very populated, but it's a touristy kind of place. But anyway, I took pictures of the sides of the building because all the paint was all peely and like there's a cool knot and all that. And so then we added lace, and this is one of the collage cards that I made that's in my price tag digi. And then rose there, so it's kind of obvious, right? Peeling paint and roses. And there's this one with the old wood behind it, one with a yellow rose. So that was fun to take those pictures and then turn them into a digi. And I don't know why my printer yesterday kept printing with this white line, so yours won't have that. It'll go all the way to the edge if you print borderless. It just, my printer was being wacko. We got it fixed finally. But, and there's this one. So you get 5 with the roses and like journaling card type stuff, lace. And then you'll get 5 of just the wood with the peeling paint. So I think these would be great for like Christmas journals, or I mean really any shabby chic journal, because you could add, you know, flowery stuff to it or whatever. So you'll get 5 of these kind of background, wooden background pages. So cool with the nails, and I don't know, it's just neat. All the years of paint on there. There's that one. And then I also did 5 pages of different like vintage laces, if I can get a hold of it. And I did put coffee dyed paper behind this one, just so you wouldn't end up with just white back there, so you can use the page better. And this one also has coffee dyed paper behind it. And here's a pink one with coffee dyed paper behind it. And then a pink one with avocado dyed paper behind it. So it's all pink. And there's a different portion. This is like a table runner, so I did 2 different portions of it because they were a little bit different on coffee dyed paper. And then you'll also get like these fun little tags and things like that that you could like put a rose on, or I don't know, like, you know, well, that one's too big, but you get what I'm saying. You can decorate them up however you want. So I hope you guys like that. That was fun to make. It was fun to take those pictures and then turn them into something. And I've got some more that are of other things that I'll be putting out soon, hopefully. I thought what we could do is make one of the pockets that Dee Dee made the other day, because I just didn't have, you know, I'm kind of like in between journals mode right now. I'm going to start a shabby chic one, and I've kind of started some pockets and things, and I did these while watching TV, so they're all ready to decorate however I want, but I thought they were kind of fun. Oops, that was here. So there's 2 pockets, as you saw. There's the front one, and then there's the back one, which also has tag in it. And then there's this one here with the window. So that's just one of those window envelopes with the bottom folded up. It was a big one, obviously. But anyway, so I've got a few things done. So I thought it'd be fun to make one of those pockets that she made yesterday, I think it was, on her channel. Since I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do. So I'm going to measure this at a little more than 4.5, because I think I'm going to cut off, let me cut off these sides, because I kind of like to see, I mean, I'll probably end up covering a lot of it, so it's really not a big deal, but I just thought book page would be kind of fun to make them out of, and that would be a good use of book page. So let's see where we're at, and then we have to cut it at 4.5 wide. I'm just going to go by her measurements because she does the 9x6 journals as well, so that way we can get most of that. And then I want it cut at 8.5. I'm not sure. I need to see if I cut this bottom off. It's going to be less than 8.5. So let's cut it first about there. And the cool thing about these wide ones is you can use this as another pocket, you know, slipped in here, or as a belly band, which she talked about as well in her video. And then I'm going to make the pockets out of book page as well. So 4.5 by 3.5. I'm going to cut all this off up here just because it's a mess. I mean, I probably don't need to cut that much off, but... And these are just out of an old, like, city planning type book. So, but it's all disintegrating and falling apart. So I'm going to make these 4.5. I might go ahead and try to keep it mostly the writing again. I think I had that really crooked. I don't know what in the world. That was wacky. Huh. 4.5. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but that was weird. And I would normally save those extra pieces and use them, but they're thick because these are 2 book pages put together. I just thought because this is old, it would stay together better if I did that. And I'm cutting them at 3.5 wide. And I'm not going to have enough here, but I have another page, and I'll save that because I can use the writing and stuff. So cut it at like 5. No. This one's really... The trick really is to glue these together ahead of time and let them dry completely. They cut a lot better because old book page tends to just tear. And I'm not even sure if this is going to work because it's already kind of falling apart. So when I fold these, it might not work at all, so we'll see. It's 3.5. What am I doing? Sorry. Had a total brain lapse there. Okay. I'm going to get my scoreboard. And we're going to score 1/2 inch on 2 sides and the bottom to make the pockets. So I'm just going to do that's for the bottom. It seems a lot more than 1/2 inch. I think I'm going to go 3/8. I want more pocket than, oh, see? Yeah, it's not going to work to fold those because that book page is just too old. So let's use, maybe we'll just use some scrapbook paper. That was funny. This is from Allie, the Cockney Crafter, and this is her faux fabric. So let's cut this at 3.5. This isn't my favorite cutter in the world. I have 4.5. Okay, now we'll try this again, not with book page. I mean, you could do it with newer book page, it's just that is really old, so. And we'll go. Just trying to think of how. So, yeah, that's right. I can get my big fingers out of the way. That's a little bit less. I should have just stuck with the 1/2 inch. It was a lot easier. But it just seemed like too much, so. Let's see how weird it looks once folded. Okay, that's totally crooked. What happened? And I'll cut those corners to miter them, but I just want to see. So that'll be like, yeah, that looks right to me. Okay, so another piece of something. Got this from Graphics Fairy. I need to cut off the border on it. It wouldn't print borderless, which was really weird. So I hope you guys are having a good day. Sorry, I didn't even, I'm good, say that. Like I said, it's just ick hot here. Like, it was almost 70 degrees when I got up this morning at 6, so that's pretty hot around here, in my opinion. Especially this year, just we kind of got spoiled because we just haven't had, you know, that much heat, so it makes you spoiled. And this one's a quarter. Well, it's not a quarter, but the scores are supposed to be at a 1/2 inch. I just was making them a little bit less. Okay, and some other paper. About use some of this music. And for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the name of the shop. Talked about it last week. Something Heart Company. I don't know why I can't remember, but I will put the link in the description box. I apologize. It's really hard to remember all the names of the places. I'm not great at that. Okay, so this is directional. So I'm going to cut this part at 4.5, and then I'll cut it at 3.5 the other way. Yeah, I stink at remembering. I mean, sometimes I do okay, but there's just a lot to remember. And if I know I'm going to use something before a video, I'll try to, you know, make sure I know what I'm talking about, but I didn't have a plan really, so. I'm not great with scoreboard because I usually just kind of wing it and do my own thing, but I wanted them to all fit on that piece of paper. So yeah, this is a fun pocket. I did one of these in a winter journal, or the winter journal I made in January, and I always forget about them. It's a great pocket thing, and it looks really cool on a page, for sure. So it's always nice when people do, you know, things like what Dee Dee's doing with all different pockets, because you're like, oh yeah. Just helps you remember things. I really need to do what Gayle does and make a book of ideas. I mean, I have sort of like that with stuff written down that I wanted to make or try, but it's really good to have an example in there. I just always end up using everything, so. Okay, and then we gotta miter the corners. Okay, and I'm going to cut these a little bit too because I don't want to be able to see that fold at the top either. And my pockets, you can tell, aren't perfectly even, like I did one bigger than the other, but it doesn't make any difference because they're going to be around the back. So as long as you've got a little bit of a gusset in there so that you can fit, you know, more than just a single sheet of paper in there or something. You can fit the collaged tags and all. So I know this is probably like watching paint dry, watching me do this. But thank you to everybody who hangs out with me and crafts with me. I love that. I think that's so awesome of you guys. You guys are such great supports. I really appreciate it. Because there are days that are rough, for sure. For everybody. We all have the bad ones and the good ones. Okay, so I'm going to do like Dee Dee did, because it's a great idea. Thank you, Dee Dee. Put them all together and punch the, you know, the center hole so that they match up when you put them on the paper and don't look weird. That's if my punch will do this. It might though, it might do this just fine, see? It's when it's thin that it just will not work. If it's thin paper, forget it. Okay, we'll ink those a little bit. I can't decide if I want to put much of anything on there. I kind of like the old paper, but I feel like it needs something. And this journal is going to be for Cindy. Hi, Cindy. So she's in Canada. So I have to remember not to use any coffee dyed papers. I stink at that because I always forget and then, you know, just put them in because that's what I do. So I need to not put any coffee dyed paper in. So it'll go through customs with no trouble. That's just my clock. Okay. You know what I feel like I want to do with this, if it'll work, I'm not sure. I kind of just want to do that thing that I do to like playing cards and that, where you just put down some glue, put some paper or whatever on, and then, you know, tear part of it off. I don't know if it'll work with this, but we're going to try it. Because I think it would give it that kind of shabby look. Ah. Okay, oops, I didn't tear those edges off. Weird edge that my printer was doing. So I'm just going to take my glue stick, and this is Scotch Crate, and it's a mess because it's been gluing lots of things. It's almost gone. And I'm just going to kind of put it around in spots. And wherever the paper sticks, it sticks. And I'm going to do something else too. And don't just make perfect straight lines either. I kind of did that, but try to like make the glue go in weird directions so that it will only stick in certain spots. The only problem is then you gotta let it dry, but and I'm not worried about these edges because they're not gonna be on there anyway. The biggest thing is we gotta wait for it to dry. Probably don't want that. Maybe this. here. I should have done this first. See, if I had thought of it, I could have done that, but I did not, so just have to let it dry. And you gotta let it dry, because otherwise you're just gonna peel it, the whole thing off. So there's really no point in that. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I did a little test because I wanted to see if they were ready. They're dry, but see, it just pulls off that. I think this paper is too thick, so we're gonna do it a little bit different. So I'm gonna put something back here because I want, you know, some of it on there. And this just left that much. I don't really want that like that, so I'm gonna put this back on here. If it was thinner paper, I usually use like thin old book page, and that works great. It just leaves like this, see? But so instead we're going to just rip it off a little bit differently, and hopefully we'll get similar technique. So I'm just basically holding parts of it down so it doesn't take all of it away. Wherever it's loose, I'm just lifting it and taking it away. To kind of maybe get that effect a little bit. Where's that stuck? Okay, I'm going to just glue this with this. So this is kind of cheating. It's not the real effect the way I like it, but I think it'll end up looking kind of cool regardless. So that's how we're going to do it. And if it leaves some of that, that's okay. As long as it's not, you know, all of it like that. Just going to tear this right along the edge. So in some ways, I guess this is a little wasteful because I've got all those little pieces, but I could put them somewhere else on something else too. Okay, let's do this one because it's more dry. Kind of move this because I don't want it to be a totally straight tear if it, you know, if I can. That one's all down. So yeah, I'm just basically gonna, I don't even know that I need the tear ruler, just like gotta kind of be careful that you're not pulling up the entire piece, which is what it was doing. The straight edge. Okay, seems to be working pretty good. I mean, a lot of this is going to get covered by the pockets, but you know, you're going to see bits and parts of it, so. Kind of that like torn wallpaper sort of thing, I guess. And I'm going to add just a little piece over here because there's nothing. So my poor daughter is stuck out in the heat at band camp today, wearing a mask and trying to play the piccolo. The things you do for the things you love to do, right? I just hope she doesn't like pass out or something. She's kind of like, I am not great in the heat. I mean, I don't think anybody really is. It's hard to think or anything when it's so hot. I don't know, some people really enjoy it. And I grew up in Nevada, but I grew up more north. You know, I didn't grow up in Vegas or anything, so it was never super hot where I was, thank goodness. We didn't even have air conditioning in the house that I grew up in because it was over 100 years old, so at the time I was growing up. And it just wasn't really a thing there. Okay, so I know that looks a little cockamamie crazy, but that's what we're going with. Let me see here. I'm going to do stamping. I think I'm going to use the archival ink. It just tends to stamp better for some reason, in my opinion, than the distress ink. On my mat. Gotta wipe that up because it's not just distressing. Hopefully it'll come up. That was not smart of me. Horrible about putting stuff down to protect my mat. Okay. Actually, before I do that, I think I want to do some paint. Sorry, this piece of deli paper here. And some white paint if I have any. I know I've got some somewhere, but it's just a matter of where. Not in my paint bucket. Oh, that's right next to me, people. Right next to me. Okay. And this is just white paint. we've gone totally into the weeds now, and I did not even need remotely that much. See, this is what I do when I get going. That's why I try to have a plan when I do a video because this gets a little cuckoo. And it can take me a lot longer than what most people want to watch in a video. So it'll be one that'll be over an hour long or whatever, and people watch like 17 minutes. But that's okay. I'm on a roll. Okay, I don't want to totally like cover everything. Alright, now I have to let that dry. So what I'm going to do is let it dry, put the pockets on and everything, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's done. Be right back. Okay everybody, so I had a few issues. So I glued this pocket on and then remembered that my pages are going to be shorter for this journal, just by a little bit, not a lot. And once I had glued this one on, then these two pockets here didn't fit anymore, so I did make this one a little bit smaller and glued it down, but then I decided to do a little short pocket, and this is just the bottom of one of Ceri the Crafter's large tags, and then I just put the thumb notch in, and this is from ArtyMaze. So I have a pocket this way, a pocket here, and then I can either, you know, tuck something in here or on either side, or it could be a belly band all the way through. I am going to round those corners, I think. I don't know. That one is really close to the edge. So I, yeah, kind of made some boo-boos, but you know, that's kind of what you do when you're making things. I should have stuck to, well, I did stick sort of to Dee Dee's measurements, but then remembered that my book was a little bit shorter, so that really was my problem. So make sure you figure out the height of your page first, and then, you know, change your size of your pockets accordingly. So these two pockets are two different sizes, but I don't think it's a huge deal. I really like the way it came out, and I like the way, even though most of my collaging and stuff got covered up, I really like the way it looks. Oh, and I did a little paint on these, obviously. So anyway, I hope you guys liked that. I hope you have an awesome day, and thank you so much to all my subscribers, new and old. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and I love all your comments. You're always very helpful and positive and wonderful. So I will chat with you again soon. Bye-bye now.